Hello friends, this is the first video in the series of video lectures which are aimed at placement preparation. Students who are going to appear for placement interviews in the campus or outside the campus can read from these videos, and in these videos we try to answer few of the most frequently asked interview questions, clearing various concepts as we go along. So the first question that we discuss in this lecture is what happens when you hit a URL in the browser. So this is one of the most frequently asked interview questions. The interviewer wants to know, do you know the basic concepts of networking or internet or things that you usually see in your daily life? So let us see. First, we need to understand what do we use a browser for. We use the browser for, say, reading something, writing something, chatting, and many other activities. Everything that we do in the browser, we do it on a page. That means whenever you open google.com, you basically are seeing a page, or in more technical terms, it is called a web page. So when you hit google.com, you are basically seeing google.com's web page. To be more precise, a web page is nothing but an HTML document. HTML is nothing, it's a language basically used for writing web pages, and the full form of HTML is hypertext markup language. And browser is somebody who knows how to read an HTML document. So browsers have the capacity to read, they know how to read an HTML document. When you are trying to access google.com, then you are basically trying to access google.com's HTML page, and this HTML page is basically lying on a machine, or in more technical terms, Google servers. Okay, so on Google servers, they have multiple HTML document, and when you hit google.com, you are basically trying to access one particular HTML document sitting remotely somewhere here. So the server can be anywhere in the world, but this is you sitting on your home system with a browser, and you are trying to access an HTML page or watch an HTML page lying on Google servers, which can be situated anywhere across the world. Okay. Now, first of all, if you're trying to access a document which is not on your system or is lying remotely, you first need to identify on which system the document is lying. There are millions and millions of computer systems across the globe, and you are trying to access a document which is lying on a Google server. So first you need to uniquely identify which is that system on which the document is lying. To overcome this problem, the internet standards identify each system with a unique number called an IP address. IP address is nothing but Internet Protocol address. An IP address is unique in a network, and internet is nothing but a network of networks. So with the help of an IP address, you can clearly and uniquely identify a computer system. So till now, the conclusion that we arrived at as to access an HTML document lying on a remote server, first thing you need to do is uniquely identify that server or system. And to uniquely identify that system, you need an IP address. So whenever you need to access an HTML document on any remote machine or any website, you need to know its IP address. But I don't think you type IP address on the browser. You never do. What do you type on the browser? You type google.com. Let's see how that works out. Now, when on your browser you hit, say, google.com, and I give you a service which takes as an input google.com and gives you the IP address of google.com. I think that will solve our problem. So something which takes as an input google.com and gives you the IP address of the google.com server. Once you get the IP address, you can access any HTML document. Now this service is one of the most important services in the networking. This service is called the domain name service, the DNS or domain name service. You in your browser you type google.com. This goes to the DNS service which takes as an input the domain name, which is the google.com, and gives out the IP address of google.com to you. Now once your browser has the IP address, it requests the google.com to send the HTML page, and that is displayed on your browser. So let us understand the different components of what you type in your browser, which in other words is also called the URL. So your URL, which is called the uniform resource locator. This is what you type on the browser. Okay, now this first part, HTTP, is the protocol, which has a full form of hyper text transfer protocol. We'll drill more about what HTTP is, how it works in further videos, but for now you just need to know that it's a protocol used over the internet. It is an HTTP protocol, and as the name suggests, this protocol is used to handle hypertext markup language pages, or in other words HTML pages. So HTTP protocol is used to read, to send, to write, to access HTML pages across the internet. The second part is this part, or the google.com. This is called the domain. It has again two parts. This is the top level domain, and this is the top level domain, and Google is the second level domain. Okay, now there is another part which generally is not mentioned anywhere, which is the port number. So ideally you can even change your URL to look something like this. Colon 80. This 80 is usually missing, but this is the last part of the URL, which is also called the port number. You need to understand that HTTP protocol always works on port number 80. So that is why it is explicitly not mentioned here. Let us connect all the blocks that we have studied till now together. So here it is you. Here's your router. This is you. Router. This is your ISP, or in other words, Internet Service Provider. This guy is the one who actually takes money from you to give you internet or to connect you to the world of internet. So this can be Airtel, Vodafone, Jio, Reliance, anything which you use. Then beyond this ISP, there are various machines. Some of them are DNS machines. There are Google servers, Facebook servers, Google, Facebook, and many other servers. And each of these servers have many different HTML pages which you might want to access. So what happens is, the first thing is you type google.com. Your router sends this request to the ISP, which is directed to a DNS server. Because as we know, you have typed a domain name, you would need an IP address to first convert your domain into an IP address to uniquely identify which of these machines contains your HTML page or contains the page which you are requesting. The DNS tries to find the IP address, gives, if it doesn't find, it forwards this or your request to other DNS servers which might have the IP address of Google. Whoever finds the IP address returns back to the same path, gives it back to the ISP. Your ISP sends it back to the router, and you get back the IP address finally. And once you have the IP address, you take that IP address, go through your ISP. So you have received Google's IP address. This is Google IP address. Okay, you send this IP address to the ISP. ISP now directly contacts, since it has the IP address, it knows which server to contact. It directly contacts Google server, and once Google receives your request, it sends back an HTML page which via ISP is returned back to you, and HTML pages can be read by your browser. So your browser reads the HTML page, displays the web page. A couple of more information, since now we have known the complete flow, how it works. You need to know what an IP address looks like. So an IP address typically looks like 25.36.24.168, something like this. It's a 32-bit number divided into 4 parts, and each part can range between 0 to 255, which is 8-bit. So each part the value of each part can be 0 to 255, and which is actually equal to 8 bits, and it is totally a 32-bit number, unique number. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you learned something new today, and whenever the interviewer asks this question, you might be able to show him with the diagrams, you might be able to show him what an internet flow looks like broadly. This is just a top level view. At every step, there are many more layers involved to get that HTML page to you. The whole process happens in milliseconds. In further videos, we'll drill down into each step further ahead to watch different layers of the OSI model, how your data is transformed or transferred from one layer to another, what are the kind of headers added to it. We'll slowly come to it. But most importantly, on the top level view, this is what you need to explain when your interviewer asks this question. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked the video. Please like it, subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you will receive notifications of many more interview questions that we are going to discuss on this channel. Thank you so much for watching.